That's date night special. And we're going to show you how to make it. It's fast, it's easy, and it's super delicious. We have here about 1 kilo of Black Angus Tenderloin that we cut into 4 steaks. And as you can see here, it has a little bit of a gap here, so we tied it up so we get a nice shape on them. And we're just going to put them here on a cooling rack. Also the little boy here, we're not discriminating. The small ones, they also get to participate. All we want to do right now, we want to give it a nice coating of salt on both sides. And you can give it, it's thick, so it's not going to be over salted in any way here. You can give it some love in here. And what we want to do here is, we want to make sure that the salt has a bit of time to sit on the surface to retract a little bit of moisture from the meat, because that will give us and act as a binder, because I don't want to put any oil on the meat at this stage. I'll only add a little bit of oil to the pan. So we're going to leave this like this, and then we're going to put it in the fridge while we prepare the rest of the ingredients. Well, as it is a pepper steak, we are going to use a mixture of white, red, and black pepper. If you only have black pepper, use black pepper. It's not, but it looks pretty with the colors, and it gives a different flavor profile. And this is going to be like a classic pepper steak, so we want quite a lot of this. I would say a tablespoon, a little bit more than a tablespoon of black pepper, and the same with red, because we want to use this on the steaks, but we also want to use some of it in our sauce. So preserve or make enough of this. White pepper is so nice. Now I'm using a spice grinder here. Obviously, if you don't have one of those, you could do this in a mortar and pestle, but this is significantly easier. But be careful, you don't want to make this too fine. You want to have like some texture to these. That looks fine to me. Now we take that out and spread it here so we can use it for our steaks afterwards. And also I want to have a little bit of this.
They're very aromatic.
Super aromatic. I leave a little bit here that I'm going to grind a little bit finer, and I'll show you why. Because here we have a finer powder of peppers that we're going to use with our vegetable of choice today. We're going to go with Brussels sprouts. Whoops, this one is trying to escape. You could go with asparagus if you like that. You could go with broccoli. Some people, they don't like Brussels sprouts. I do tend to like them, so that's why we're doing that. We're going to give them a good drizzle of olive oil, and then we're going to give them some salt, and we're going to keep them sort of plain. You could add garlic if you're so inclined. And we're going to give them a little bit of the pepper. Don't overdo it, but just enough. And we give it a good mix here, so we get everything nice and combined. So they're ready to be sautéed later. Beautiful steaks out of the fridge, a little bit moist on the surface, so that's perfect, so we can get a really good pepper crust on them. So just down here, press it down, make sure that you get that. And don't worry that you think, ooh, that's a lot of pepper. Don't worry about it, because some of it will stay in the pan and some of it will make the crust on our steak here. That's just beautiful. And as you can see, it's a thick cut of beef, so what is a pepper steak if it doesn't have a lot of pepper?
Yeah, that's your favorite.
That's very true.
Thankfully, you didn't use chili peppers.
I was thinking about it, but...
Then forget about it. I knew it.
Well, or a citron peppercorn. I could have mixed a little bit of citron peppercorn,
that would be nice
actually.
For aroma, but it's okay. On another recipe.
Yeah. And if any spot is missing here, just get it coated here. And that's it. And I'll see you at the stove. And here we have a cast iron pan preheating. We want to get it up. Now it's at 200, so that's perfect. I can add some oil. I'm going to use avocado oil. You need something with a high smoke point. You could use peanut oil, canola oil, whatever, but avocado oil is quite good. If you were a little bit decadent, you could use clarified butter. That's what I would do. But that's not my wife's favorite, so
no.
I have to be Have to be a good boy sometimes. So we use avocado oil, but as you can see, it's already simmering hot. Here we are coming up towards temperature that's perfect. So now the trick with pepper steak is you take your steak, crust side down, and then you don't touch it. It needs to build crust all on its own without touching it, otherwise you're going to destroy your nice pepper crust. That has to burn in with the crust there. So now we leave it there, sizzling away for a couple of minutes till we have a good crust before we flip them. And when you see it starts creeping up a little bit of brown on the sides here, I'm pretty certain we are done. Let's flip it over and see. Ah, that's just beautiful, look at that. They are so nice, nice dark peppery crust here. This is gonna be some good eating. Now we make a crust on the other side, 2-3 minutes, and I'll show you the next step. And let's take a look here on the other side, and that's just beautiful. So, in with a clean grate, use the same pan, just a clean grate. Off with this, and we move them over here carefully. We don't want to lose our beautiful crust we just built. And now we're going to go in with our Armature 1 thermometer here, so we can keep an eye on them. Let me get it out, there we go. And into the thickest steak here, into the middle, like that. That's there. And we put this in the oven, middle rack, 140 degrees, and we leave it there to enjoy until we reach a core temperature of, let's say, 53 degrees, nice medium rare, and then we will move on with our sauce. So now you see all that beautiful fond we have in the pan. We're gonna give that a little bit extra oil here, crank up the heat a little bit, just to get it going, and then we're gonna add a couple of finely diced shallots, and we're gonna let them sweat a little bit here. Don't brown them, just sweat them. And when they smell good and are nice and soft, we add a clove of garlic, like this. You could do 2, 3, whatever, how much you want, but I think 1 is enough. Just give it not more than 20 seconds, just stir it around here, let it get fragrant. And we could go with a creamy sauce, but today we are going with not a lighter version. We are going with a wine reduction, so we are taking a nice Chianti. And I don't know, for deglazing, how much do we need? Don't need so much, not even half a bottle. Then there's left over for me for the taste test. Now we let this boil off until the alcohol has disappeared and we start reducing. This will lift all the fond off the bottom and give great flavor to this. So let it go for a couple of minutes. And when this has started to reduce, you see it's nice and it doesn't smell of that alcohol in the air, then we're going to go in with 400 milliliter of our homemade beef stock. Link down below, this is liquid gold, I'm telling you. So in with that, and while that comes up to a simmer, we're going to start our Brussels sprouts. I have a pan preheating over here, a little bit more heat, and again some avocado oil, not a lot. And then we're just going to straight on the pan there, and we let them go for until they start getting nice and brown, but don't overcook them. You don't want them to get soggy. They have to have some bite to them before they're finished. So we let this come up to a simmer and reduce, and we let those saute there and see you in a couple of minutes. Well, sauce is reducing, sprouts are getting ready, and we have hit 53 on our meat. So now it's time to take it out and let it rest. So let's see how they look. Well, if that is not a sight for sore eyes, I don't know what is. It's just beautiful. So we're gonna give this a bit of foil, just like this. Just tempt them over, it doesn't have to be very tight. Just to keep it in. The carryover temperature will probably take them up to 54, 55, which is perfect medium rare. So they rest there, and we finish the sauce. See? They're browning up nicely. They are almost done. Maybe a couple of more minutes. And our sauce here is going well, but I'm not gonna wait for this to reduce naturally because steaks are there, sprouts are there. So I'm just gonna go in with a slurry of corn flour, probably not all of it. I have 1 heaping tablespoon here and 2 tablespoons of water. Let's start by half, and then we see what kind of thickness that will give us. We want that pan sauce thickness. We don't want it really super thick, but look, it's already there. So fast. You could use rice flour, you could even use xanthan gum if you want to, but corn flour works brilliantly. Look, it coats the backside of a spoon and doesn't run down. It needs a bit of salt though. So, pinch of salt, and we are ready to plate up and taste. So, moment of truth. Let me open this up a little bit here. And look at those beauties. Let me get one here on my cutting board. And then we have to snip the string here. There we go, to get it out. Don't want to eat that.
I look forward to try that because we normally don't cook tenderloin. It's not your favorite cut. We always go for ribeyes and picanhas and other stuff.
Tenderloin is very lean and it doesn't have that fat that gives you good flavor, in my opinion. I know my wife, she loves tenderloin. But
I love picanha, but I love tenderloin also.
Let's see how we did here.
Oh la la, look at it.
That is 100% perfect medium rare. No gray zone, beautiful crust on both sides. Let me cut a couple of slices here. You have to see this.
Oh
this
my.
Is like, and I could cut this with a spoon, actually. This is fantastic. Then, we need to make the perfect bite here. So, one of our nice crunchy Brussels sprouts, piece of our steak, and a little bit of our beautiful red wine reduction over top here. That is the perfect bite. I want to say something naughty right now, but I better don't do that. But anyway, if this doesn't get you laid, nothing will.
Really?
Yeah, this is beautiful. It's a beautiful cut of beef. It's super tender and it's peppery forward, but not too much. It's not like, you don't taste the meat, but the pepper just makes it fantastic. The sauce is excellent. And with the Brussels sprouts, I mean, what's not to love? Make it. Cheers.